I'm in a funk. My spacesuit's all out of antidepressants, and the only way to replenish it is with the blood of idiots.
Psychologists have learned that showing a participant a series of pictures can help determine their personality.
Ah, there we go.
When looking at these photos, there's no wrong answer, but you will learn a lot about how confident, artistic, or nurturing you really are.
No, you won't. This is the long-debunked Rorschach test, and the only thing you'll learn is the bias of whoever's testing you.
If you're ready to learn more about your personality, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up.
Wow, 21 seconds in? Really?
Now, let's get started. 10. This inkblot is from the Rorschach test, a psychological exam that's used to determine a person's personality.
And has been completely discredited.
If you see two figures leaning forward, you're a patient person who's constantly thinking. And in life, you never settle for anything less than the best. If you see a racing car, two cubs, babies, or devils, you have a great imagination. If you see a dentist chair, you're sensitive and generous. If you see a woman lying down, you're easily distracted. And if you see two dark forces about to invade a figure, you have a tendency to start projects, but you have a tough time finishing your work.
Or all of those apply to you because they apply to everybody. These are Barnum statements, people. Statements that almost everyone considers to be unique to themselves. This is no different from astrology.
Here's another inkblot from the Rorschach test. What do you see this time? If you see a clown face or someone sticking out their tongue, you love to stay social and active. If you see a lady above dolphins, you're charismatic. If you see a cuddly toy, it means you tend to dwell on the past.
And what if you saw all three? I guess all three of those statements apply to you. You know, like they apply to almost everybody.
8. In this next image, do you see a face, apples, or a person sitting down?
And in this picture, do you see a duck or a rabbit? If you see a duck, or if you see a rabbit, or if you see both and can switch back and forth at will, congratulations! You have a functioning visual cortex like everyone else on the planet. Okay, enough of their stupid examples. Let's debunk this crap. The Rorschach test dates back to the 19th century, when people basically knew crap about the brain or psychology. If you don't believe me, just look at some of the medieval torture dungeons that passed for asylums in those days. It continued to be used even after 1959, when psychologist Lee Cronbach found the test has repeatedly failed as a prediction of practical criteria. There is nothing in the literature to encourage reliance on Rorschach interpretations. It's basically cold reading, no different than John Edward pretending to converse with your dead relative. Nonetheless, it was still used in the 1960s to diagnose psychological illnesses such as homosexuality. Yes, homosexuality was considered a mental illness. That should be an alarm bell. The Rorschach test was used to determine one's propensity towards homosexuality. If you saw buttocks, feminine clothing, sex organs of either gender, any sort of genderless human form, or human forms with both sets of genitalia, you were given a diagnosis of homosexuality. If you didn't think you were gay, the diagnosis was latent homosexuality. But then, psychologists Lauren and Gene Chapman researched actual tests from 32 experienced testers. Those testers reported that homosexual men were 5 times as likely to see these images as heterosexual men, and yet, when they looked at the actual responses, turns out homosexual men were no more or less likely to see these images than anyone else. The testers were engaging in a kind of confirmation bias known as illusory correlation. There's also quite a bit of projection going on. For example, if a tester was more likely to consider responses to be sexual, they were more likely to consider someone seeing a bra as sexual than others who were more likely to see it as clothing. It's been widely shown to have no diagnostic ability whatsoever for any disorder other than schizophrenia, where it has a mild positive reliability. And which is what Hermann Rorschach himself developed the test for in the first place. Rorschach himself was always skeptical of the Inkblot test as a personality test.
this test help you learn anything new about your personality?
No, but it did let us know not to take this stupid The Talco channel seriously. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can keep producing content, support this channel by becoming a patron. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.